This is KGW News at 5.
We're not done yet. That winter weather continues to blast the Northwest. An icy Valentine's Day closing roads, toppling trees, and tonight, hundreds of thousands are still without power as temperatures stay below freezing. Good evening, I'm Brittany Folkers. The Portland area is under an ice storm warning tonight. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino is tracking the newest storm, which, Matt, it could really add to the already dangerous conditions out there.
Yeah, ice is the worst, Brittany, as we've seen from the last couple of days. We saw the images in the Mid-Valley yesterday that were coated with anywhere from a half an inch to over an inch of ice, what it did to trees, what it did to power lines, and now Portland under an ice storm warning. This is where it is in this purple area. Let me also point out where it is not. It is not over Yamhill County, not over Marion County, and only the northwestern part of Clackamas County and the eastern 2/3 of Washington County, then all of Multnomah County, and then up into Clark County, because these are the areas that remain below freezing at this point. Many areas down the valley have already warmed up above freezing. In fact, you don't have to go far to find temperatures in the 40s. They even had rain up on Mount Hood today because of that warm air aloft. But we are stuck in the 30s here, as you can see, across all of the metro area. 31 in Portland, 31 in Vancouver, 30 in Troutdale. But let me show you the demarcation line right around Forest Grove to Sherwood, where it's 33 degrees in both those spots. Now, to the south and west of that line, it's generally above freezing. To the north and east of that line, it's generally below freezing. So these are the areas that will be seeing the freezing rain as we go overnight tonight and into the very early morning hours tomorrow. But this is the end of it. I mean, the thaw will begin tomorrow. And as in some places, like look at Corvallis at 46, the thaw has begun. Even Salem is above freezing and McMinnville is at 39. So that warmer air, and granted it's not like balmy, but it's warm enough to melt ice and snow, is not that far away from us, and we will tap into that as we get into tomorrow. The cold air in the Portland area is being eroded from the south and west, but also from above. There's warmer air above trying to mix down and get rid of that cold air, but cold air is very dense. It's stubborn, so it takes time to do that. This is the scene from the roof cam in Portland right here at KGW. Notice the icicles here hanging off the roof, still sitting at 30 degrees with freezing rain falling out of the sky. And that's the camera of the Wells Fargo building, which is completely iced over, a little bit warmer there, but still. Notice the pressure falling rapidly, too. That's because there's a new storm coming in from the west. So the winds, we need to check that out. Still good strong east winds at the airport in Troutdale, but the winds have gone flat everywhere else, even southerly on the Oregon coast. Again, an indication that things are warming up down there. There's that next batch of rain coming our way. So let me show you the headlines. Let's skip back one graphic here. The ice storm warning for tonight, okay? For areas east of 205 to about Multnomah Falls, anywhere from a half to over an inch of ice, especially out in the gorge. Multnomah Falls is going to get plastered in ice. The West Hills, as much as a half an inch of ice overnight tonight. So those are the worst areas. South and west of the West Hills, not as bad. A tenth of an inch to maybe a quarter of an inch of ice tonight, but quicker warming from the south to the north during the day on Monday. A couple other issues to consider as well. We'll dig into this more a little bit later. Much of the valley already above freezing will get slow melting on Monday. I'm not expecting any widespread flooding, maybe intersections because of ice and snow clogged storm drains. Other than that, it should be okay. The Cascades will see really heavy snow. There's a very high avalanche danger up there too. We'll talk about that. And then the beaches. It's a holiday tomorrow. A lot of people will be out on the beach. There's a sneaker wave threat. More on all of this, Brittany, in a bit. Back to you.
All right, we'll check back with you soon. Well, you know, this winter weather is especially tough on the hundreds of thousands of people without power tonight. No lights, no internet, TV, and probably most importantly, no heat. The outages stretch from the metro area deep into the Willamette Valley. Christelle Coomway is here with an update. Christelle.
Well, Brittany, as of this afternoon, Portland General Electric is reporting about 206,000 customers without power. For Pacific Power, that number is right around 18,000. Now, the companies say they are working hard to restore power for customers, but warn it may take a while. Here's PGE spokesman Steve Corson.
I hate to say this, but for some customers, it could be as long as 10 days before we've got everybody back on. That's an extreme situation, but we need people to be prepared for the potential for some extended outages.
One particularly hard-hit area is Hubbard near Salem. We're told the whole town has no power. A viewer shared these pictures showing why dozens of trees are down. Now, if you know someone who is still looking forward to get power, you can head on over to the PGE website, and that's portlandgeneral.com. There you'll be able to punch in your phone number and get an estimate of when you may get that power restored. Brittany?
Oh, just so long to be without power. Christelle, thank you. The weather, of course, leading to traffic issues in the Portland metro area. Conditions still aren't great, but I-84 did reopen this morning between Troutdale and Hood River. ODOT closed the 45-mile stretch of freeway Friday night because of the snow, strong winds, and low visibility. Still, if you do not need to be out driving, you are urged to stay home. Highway 18 is expected to stay closed throughout the day. ODOT crews are hard at work tackling between 400 and 500 downed trees. The highway is closed between Rose Lodge and Grand Ronde. Now, ODOT says crews are everywhere they can be, about 200 from the Portland metro out to the coast.
Right now, it's hard to say what the worst spot in Oregon is. Each of them have their own issues, a lot of them surrounded by ice or caused by ice. And the worst problems we're having right now are that we have so many areas closed, be it down trees, down power lines, or a combination thereof.
Highway 22 in that area is also a problem. The issue isn't just trees that are already down, it's also the trees that might fall. And if you're wondering which Portland road crews are working to clear, PBOT has a map showing where snowplows and salt trucks are going. It's updated in real time, by the way. We have a link to that map. You can find it at kgw.com. And by the way, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to hear from PBOT on those ongoing efforts to get our local roads cleared.
A lot of ice. And we lost our power yesterday about 24 hours ago.
Yeah, ice is the big culprit here, taking out trees and knocking out power. And the ice buildup is keeping tree crews from getting safely on the job. Tim Gordon reports from Clackamas County.
Jim and Peggy Craig have been married a long time. On this Valentine's Day, they are working together to clear the ice outside their River Road home.
My wife wanted the snow. She just loves snow. But the ice, no.
The Craigs want to go get gas and other supplies, but the conditions are bad.
A lot of ice. And we lost our power yesterday about 24 hours ago. And, we haven't been able to get out, so we're going to try that.
Just across the street, a big tree took out utility lines. Ironically, it's not power lines in this mess, but the power's out anyway. Jim and Peggy's next door neighbors didn't want to go on camera, but they did share their concern with us about that tree. You see the one that's leaning? It didn't used to lean before this ice storm came in. Now it's leaning right towards their house. An arborist tells them it is going to come down, but he can't do anything about it until PGE comes in, because you see that power line is running right through it. Just a few miles away, we found a whole line of trees in trouble outside several duplex homes on Roth Road.
A little jumpiness. It's very cold. We don't have power.
Ricky LeBaron has reason to be jumpy as ice and branches continue to fall.
Yeah. Yep.
Ricky says a big tree came down Saturday morning and hit the front porch.
Piece split off and fell that way, and then another tree landed there, and there was like 3 or 4 along here.
There is a lot of work to do, and arborists are being inundated with calls. Dash Shank hopes he can get his crews out Monday if things thaw a little.
Just be patient with the tree crews. We are definitely trying, and we're going to work and do everything we can to get everyone back into their homes and get these problems solved with. And so we appreciate that understanding.
Back on River Road, this couple stepped out of their house without power.
We do have a gas fireplace downstairs, but there's no fan, but at least it's breaking the chill.
Yes. Hoping for a thaw like everyone else.
But it's just horribly inconvenient because the house is cold and you can't cook, and it sucks.
As for Peggy Craig, she had higher hopes for this weekend's storms.
Not this, certainly. But you cope, do what you have to do. So we're bundled up.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Oh, coping in the frigid cold without heat. Heart goes out to them. Well, coming up, the weekend storm cuts right to the heart of Valentine's Day business. How already struggling restaurants are dealing with another blow, storm damage and canceled reservations. Plus, appointments for COVID vaccines put on hold. The hazardous weather forcing vaccination sites to close. what you need to know if you're waiting for a shot.
Ask anyone who has been in an accident. What comes next can be just as bad as the accident itself. Getting yourself home, calling up your insurance company, negotiating a shop to take it to, making sure the shop uses factory parts, having a friend drive an appointment with the shop, having to make another finally dropping off your car, waiting to hear back from your insurance, taking your car back with the things they didn't fix, or you can just take it to Leif's. Call me. We'll pick you up, negotiate with the insurance company on your behalf, keep you informed, and drop it off when we're done, anywhere in the Northwest.
Why is Tonkin the place to be this President's Day weekend? 1, great deals, and 2, you'll find the largest selection in town. No one else can put on a President's Day event like Tonkin. This weekend only, find amazing deals on cars you'll love. You'll be sure to find the one with 16 brands to choose from. Visit any of our 13 locations or browse our entire inventory online at Tonkin.com. Tonkin's President's Day sales event, this weekend only.
Did you know that 178 million Americans are missing at least one tooth?
It's true. That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we only focus on tooth replacement solutions.
Whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we have an experienced dentist who can create a new smile just for you.
At a price that's affordable.
Because at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we want you
to go ahead and smile.
Sarah, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Captain Ahab to help you find a parking spot?
There she blows! Whoop! Loading zone, darn it. Pull hard to starboard!
Too small!
Seriously? Because it... follow him! Steady, steady... Go! Thunderation to the northern lot, where there be parking spaces as big as whales!
Geico. See all the ways you could save.
Shop from home with Gresham Subaru, and we'll deliver to your door. Go to GreshamSubaru.com.
Well, with the snow and ice brings more bad news for restaurants. Metro Spots got the go-ahead to offer indoor dining Friday, but many, concerned about safety, had to close. On top of that, they're dealing with damage on what's traditionally one of their busiest days of the year. Keely Chalmers takes a look for us.
At Santa Fe Taqueria on Northwest 23rd, the cleanup is underway. Today, it's the sidewalks. And once the snow melts, it will be the outdoor tents.
Hopefully, next 2 days we can start build again, because that's our hope for business, keep running.
It's a problem many restaurants around town are now dealing with. Those outdoor seating areas they put up to help survive the pandemic collapsed under the weight of all the snow and ice that has piled up over the past few days.
So we have both business inside and out, expecting for Valentine's Day. But now, because this happened, basically, it's not happening.
But it's really sad how they're all falling down now from the snow. And it's sad about the whole weekend.
Valentine's Day weekend is normally a busy time for restaurants. And with limited indoor dining now allowed in the metro area, many were hoping for more Valentine's Day visitors. But the snow will likely mean much smaller crowds.
It's crazy. It's one thing after another. Boom, boom, boom. But you know, one day at a time, things are going to work out.
We caught up with Phil Geffner, owner of Escape from New York Pizza, as he rode his bike to work. He says his was one of the only restaurants in the area that opened yesterday, and he opened again today.
Valentine's Day is a huge day, but everything is different. It's a year of the difference. Like, everything is different.
Even if restaurants are able to open up this Valentine's Day, the big question will be, with all this snow and ice out on the roads, will people be able to make it in?
Valentine's Day is usually a big day for restaurants. This year, it's a wait and see, and who can get open, who can get open.
And who can get through all the snow and now ice to celebrate. In Northwest Portland, Keely Chalmers, KGW News.
Oh, man, you can see it right there. It's not just the travel that's causing issues for people out there. It's the weight of this ice, the weight of the snow mat. It's heavy, and that can be really dangerous.
That's why we're seeing the power outages that we're seeing, because the ice is so heavy, brings down trees and power lines, and it's been so widespread. So it's much more difficult to deal with than snow. And we are going to get out of this, though. That process has already begun south and west of Portland. Again, that line from Forest Grove to Sherwood and points south and west are well above freezing. Portland, we're warmer than we've been the last few days. We're over 30, 31, Common, 32 in Beaverton. Just not quite warm enough to get rid of the ice completely. Not yet, but we'll get there. It's 36 in Salem. And north and west of Salem, we may see temperatures drop down to around freezing tonight, but with McMinnville at 39, I think that Marion County and Yamhill County are probably out of the woods. And in a way, it's good that you're just a little bit above freezing, because that means a more gradual melting of the ice and of the snow. This is the camera on top of the building here at KGW in downtown Portland. Look at those icicles just forming and drifting over the lens shield there. Just amazing. It's 30 degrees and the wind is calm here right now. The wind is not calm everywhere, though. Still raging out in Portland at the airport in Troutdale. So that means we're still getting a push of cold air through the gorge into the metro area. Now, it's not making it as far south and west as it was when this event started on whatever day that was. I've lost track. Thursday. So we're not seeing everybody stay cold. But as long as we have that east wind, we have a concern for freezing rain. See, the winds are calm down towards Forest Grove and McMinnville. This is the scene out of the Dalles right now. Snowy picture, 24 degrees. Again, that is the source of our cold air out in the gorge and in central and eastern Oregon. Now, we've got this mix of precipitation over us right now. That's basically freezing rain or freezing drizzle over us. Haven't had any reports of snow in the metro for quite a while now. I think we're done with that threat. And look at this shield of rain that's approaching us. So that's why we have the concern for some significant icing overnight tonight, because the precipitation coming in will be moderate, occasionally even heavy. Moderate is actually pretty heavy precipitation, if that makes sense. Nonetheless, that's going to fuel the precipitation tonight and bring us more icing. But there's a lot of westerly wind out there. Now, this cold air came down out of Canada. It's getting pushed away. The thing is the gorge fueling us, as I just mentioned, but that is going to be overrun by this warmer, moist air coming in from the west. And even the gorge will actually see a west wind, a pretty strong west wind, kick in during the day tomorrow. So we're almost out of this. 24 hours from now, everything's going to be slushy and melty, and we'll be in the upper 30s, if not 40s, once you get away from the gorge. And you can see the process here. In the morning, we have more rain coming in out to the west here. As we go through the day, it'll break up, and then we're into sun and showers on Tuesday. Things are looking pretty good. Now, the mountains will continue to see a bunch of snow, like a couple of feet in the next couple of days. The snow level is going up, but it will come back down. And we'll be good. There's no more frozen precipitation in the forecast once we get through this final bout of freezing rain tonight. And I got to say, I've never been so happy to give a rainy forecast. Just good old, plain old rain as things go back to normal. Now, this is the forecast from tomorrow through Thursday of next week for our total precipitation, and the amounts are hefty. You can see over an inch in Portland, maybe 3 inches at Tillamook. That might be a little high, but a couple of inches at the coast is realistic. And the point of this graphic is our weather pattern will stay active. We have several other storms coming in, but it's just valley rain, mountain snow, no frozen precipitation in the low elevations once we finish tonight, tomorrow morning. That's a look outside. Believe it or not, it's 31 degrees in downtown Portland, east winds at 18, and that freezing level, last report, was 4,200 feet. So that tells you that we've got that warm air aloft, and that's the problem. That's why we get freezing rain, because the snowflakes form up in the clouds. They're fine, they're happy, then they hit that warm air and they melt, and then they fall into the sub-freezing air and it freezes. Freezing rain actually comes down as liquid. It freezes on contact. So we've got that overnight tonight, and then plain old rain tomorrow. And there's the wind switch out of the east tonight, and then switching coming out of the west tomorrow. I said 39 for Portland, but Longview will hit 44. And you get south of, even downtown, will probably make the 40. So it's going to be about 35 near the gorge, 45 when you get away from the gorge. Look at this 7-day forecast, though, Brittany. President's Day tomorrow, 39, and then all of our temperatures are above freezing right on through the week. The only real dry day looks like Wednesday. We should get some sun after fog and low clouds, but it'll be really good mountain snow, rain in the valleys as we head into next weekend. So we're almost there.
Almost there. So much to look forward to, Matt. And it's something we all got to keep in mind. If you're frustrated right now, it's only temporary.
That's right. And in big picture, you know, I did a Facebook Live a little while ago and somebody said, yeah, you know what? We've had a 3-4 day winter. So, you know,
it's so true.
Right.
All right. Thanks so much, Matt. Well, you know, this winter storm causing frustrations, like we just mentioned, for people waiting for their COVID vaccine. Coming up, we're going to look at how local vaccination sites are handling those canceled appointments.
For a limited time, get $1,500 off your LipoLift with payments as low as $102 a month.
Visit drdarm.com, then call for your free virtual consultation.
Driving in winter weather can be dangerous, so is your car ready? Well, you can use this checklist. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Check your fluid levels. Make sure all your lights are working. Check your brakes. Inspect your tires. And stay safe by following KGW wherever you get news.
What a great place to work and play. Spirit Mountain Casino. We offer the area's most generous benefits package along with an opportunity for growth. Food and beverage areas are looking for you. Go to spiritmountain.com and join our team today.
The most important thing in the Chevy Equinox is not forward collision alert or automatic emergency braking. No, the most important thing in the Equinox isn't any of the advanced safety features we've put into it. It's what you put into it. Chevy Safety Assist, standard on every 2021 Chevy Equinox.
Get a $4,000 cash allowance on most 2021 Equinox models. Plus, current competitive owners with an eligible GM credit card get an additional $1,750 total allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Your internet is a big deal, and great Wi-Fi is everything, designed for any home, connecting to all your devices. It's a mesh Wi-Fi system that makes life great. Starting at $5 a month, limited time only. Imagine better with Wave.
Welcome back. We've got some good news to report. Oregon is making great strides in the fight against COVID-19. Today, the Oregon Health Authority reported 254 new cases and no new deaths. This is the first time since October that the number of daily cases has been under 300. It's big news here. Overall, case numbers in Oregon have been steadily trending down over the last several weeks, which is exactly what we want to see and just reinforces we got to keep up with social distancing, wearing our masks, and doing what we can. Starting tomorrow, Oregon seniors 75 and older will be eligible for the COVID vaccine, but with this winter weather, appointments could be more limited the next few days. The Oregon Convention Center site does plan to open tomorrow, but will delay opening until 9. Earlier appointments will be rescheduled to later in the day. Galen Etlin looks ahead at the big picture of local vaccine rollout this week.
Mass vaccination clinics like at the Oregon Convention Center are being rescheduled for the weather. Nearly 9,000 appointments from this weekend rolling over into later this week. Spokesperson Brian Terrett said it's all based on supply.
Once we have the vaccine in our hand, then we know how many appointments we can make.
So rescheduled appointments are not bumping anyone else's, just prolonging the process a bit. Doses are also not being taken out of cold storage until appointments can actually happen.
And I can assure people no vaccine is being wasted.
A similar rescheduling effort is happening for the Fairgrounds vaccination site in Salem. OHSU's clinics like the one at the Portland airport and the site at Clark County Fairgrounds. Meanwhile, pharmacies in Oregon and Washington are set to vaccinate. 115 Albertsons and Safeway locations got about 100 doses each. We checked online Sunday morning, and the websites still say there are no appointments available within 50 miles of our Portland zip code. Costco's site also did not have appointments for its 13 locations. Fred Meyer is a little harder to check since it does not list which specific locations have the COVID vaccine option off the top. Some smaller independent pharmacies under the Health Mart franchise also received vaccine vaccine doses last week. Health Mart hopes to launch its online scheduler this week once it can take on the demand.
It's going to crash, right? So essentially, we want to make sure that everything is in place. We just want to make it as smooth as possible.
And demand's only going up, with Oregon seniors 75 and older becoming eligible starting Monday. Those qualified should be able to search for appointments on covidvaccine.oregon.gov. We have an explainer and video tutorial on KGW.com. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
Thanks, Galen. You can find so much helpful info there. Well, up next, we're sharing some of your winter weather photos and seeing how you're spending the snow day.
So much news and misinformation is swirling around COVID vaccines. Verify sifts through it all. We find the experts and cross-check everything so you have the most accurate information. When can you get the vaccine? What's the plan for storing it? What about the side effects?
You may have a low-grade fever or a headache or be tired the next day.
We answer your questions and address your concerns so you can feel confident, not confused. Exclusive Verify reports on KGW. Email us at verify@kgw.com.
At Home Chef, delicious and simple go hand in hand, like a pot and lid, like salt and pepper. Point is, they go together. So it should come as no surprise that it looks like it took a long time salmon only took about 30 minutes. There, oh yeah, that's good. And wow, that was so easy, all rolled into one. So what are you waiting for? Get $90 off your first month at homechef.com. Also available at select stores. Home Chef, delicious meets simple.
The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. When you have a 2-inch lift, when you have Goodyear Duratrack tires, when you have Rancho shocks and an integrated dual exhaust, when you have all that, the last thing you'll need is a road. The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss, ready to off-road, right from the factory.
Hi there, Warby Parker here for a quick reminder. You can use FSA, HSA, and select insurance benefits to buy prescription eyeglasses, sunglasses, and contact lenses at warbyparker.com or at one of our retail locations.
At Chewy, we know it's important for your pet to feel their best inside and out. That's why we have everything you need to pamper them at a great price. So you can save on their favorite shampoo to keep them squeaky clean or squeaky toys to make bath time more fun. And for fresh cuts, we've got grooming tools for every kind of pet. From clean teeth to fresh breath. Chewy's got it all to keep your pet looking good and feeling good. Delivered right to your door. Save 30% on your first auto ship order. Visit Chewy.com today.
Pets getting too comfortable? Call the Killers, your local pest pros.
Hey there, welcome back. A lot of you have been sharing pictures with us on social media, and we want to share a few on this snowy Valentine's Day. Check out this one. A viewer made this snowman who's ready for the day of love with a red bandana and that cute little heart there. I absolutely love it. Also, maybe ready to get out on the trails, it looks like. How about that awesome crown, too? I want one. All right, now these are my kind of guys. Carl turned the snow into a bar. Definitely plenty of ice to keep those drinks cold. What you can see there is like he actually has a wine rack on the bottom where he puts them right in. Fancy, smart. I love it. And check out this cool shot from Marlo, a basketball hoop just frozen over. I mean, that looks like art. It's so beautiful, doesn't it? And look at what Jaylyn and JC did to pass the time during the power outage in Salem. Oh my gosh, this makes me giggle in the best way. They decked out in these glow sticks and brightened up the streets. I just love this. Get creative, have fun with it. Why not? It's a snow day. You can share your pictures as well. Just text them to us at 503-226-5088. We'll be right back.
Oregon grocery store workers are nowhere near the top of the list to get the vaccine. Meanwhile, in Washington, workers there are not only getting their doses, but they're getting paid bonuses to do so. A look at why some of Oregon's essential workers feel left behind by the state. Monday at 6.
Love lower than low prices? Then get more ways to save at Fred Meyer, where you can find personalized coupons, weekly deals, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are lower than low. on food that's fresher than fresh. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
This Valentine's Day at Papa Murphy's, heat things up to 425 degrees. Right now, get the Heartbaker Pizza, our signature pepperoni pizza in the shape of a heart for just $10. Fall in love with one today for just $10. We make it, you bake it, Papa Murphy's.
Ask anyone who has been in an accident. What comes next can be just as bad as the accident itself. Getting yourself home, calling up your insurance company, negotiating a shop to take it to, making sure the shop uses factory parts, having a friend drive an appointment with the shop, having to make another finally dropping off your car, waiting to hear back from your insurance, taking your car back to your things they didn't fix, or you can just take it to Leif's. Call me. We'll pick you up, negotiate with the insurance company on your behalf, keep you informed, and drop it off when we're done, anywhere in the Northwest.
It's time for the ultimate Sleep Number event on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed.
Can I help with snoring?
I've never heard snoring.
Exactly.
No problem. And done. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
Hey, Dan. I'm Shane. I don't know. I'm pretty happy-go-lucky guy. I don't want to be like super depressed when I watch the news. That's one of the things I like about the story is that I never leave. I'm like, Dan Haggerty's got his finger on the pulse of the community, and he understands, and he's going to give you a nice take on what we're going through. He's somebody that you feel like you could have dinner with. It's fun, it's exciting, and you'll get a lot of good information in a short amount of time.
A live look from our Rose City Skycam. The view from above is a picturesque sight, but down on the ground, the roads are a mess, and so many still without power in our region. More ice is expected tonight, so Matt Safino is here with the latest conditions. Matt, it's just not quite letting up yet.
No, and as is typical with Portland snow events, it's fun in the beginning. Everybody, and like you did the story yesterday, Brittany, on the Birkebeiner, that was super fun.
Yeah.
But now with the ice, I think everybody's starting to get worn out on this, especially those who have lost power for an extended period of time. That is not fun at all. We've got the ice storm warning just for the metro area. Clark County, Multnomah County, eastern 2/3 of Washington County, and the northwestern part of Clackamas County. This is where we expect significant icing overnight tonight. The gorge has a winter storm warning. The western gorge will be ice. The eastern gorge, and really the central of the eastern gorge. You go the east of Multnomah Falls is where you go back into snow or stay snow longer. But even there, we're beginning to see some freezing rain pop up. And Hood River, while you get a lot of snow tonight, you're going to turn to freezing rain and then punch through. The west winds will, and you'll go to rain tomorrow. But this is where we are concerned tonight. And it's really easy to tell where and why. Where the temperatures are 32 or lower, below freezing, we're going to get additional icing overnight tonight. With this line from Forest Grove to Sherwood and then south and west of that is above freezing, and you get down to Salem, they're in the 40s. McMinnville is near 40, so it's not that far away, and those places should be fine overnight tonight. But if you're below freezing now, you probably won't warm above freezing until tomorrow morning, and that's after we get the additional icing. So that's what we're concerned about. You see the 46 in Corvallis, 36 in Salem, and 39 in McMinnville, as I mentioned. This is the shot from our camera on the roof here at KGW. Icicles forming. Freezing rain falls as a liquid, but then freezes because it's in a sub-freezing environment, and that's what's happening. That's how you get big icicles. I guess that's the only benefit to this. 30 degrees right now here in town. We look at the winds. They're still raging out of the east, out in East County, and that's why we continue to have the issues with the cold air pooling in Portland, and then the moisture coming in over the top. There's a little bit over us right now. It's really been a drizzle for the better part of the day. I measured 0.2 of an inch of ice downtown. There's some more below that, of course, but that's what we had today. But look, there's this big swath of rain coming in from the west right now. It's hitting Newport and Tillamook. That's going to roll on in and really increase the icing as we go into the overnight hours, and that's why we've got the ice storm warning. So it shapes up like this for Portland. The east of I-205 area to Multnomah Falls, super heavy icing, maybe an inch, a little bit more there. For the West Hills, up to a half an inch of ice. It's East County that's really going to get hammered by this. The rest of Portland, still icy, just not as much. And the warming and the melting will kick in from south to north. More on all of our other areas, Brittany, a little bit later on.
All right, so much to talk about. All right, we thank you so much, Matt. And as we continue to deal with the snow and ice, a big question that we're hearing from many of you, are crews out there plowing? It's important since we won't likely see any improvement until late tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. Joe Ranieri is live near 217 with a look at efforts to clear those roads. Joe.
Hey, Brittany, and the answer, yes, there are crews plowing roads along with ODOT and PBOT, but as you can imagine, the roads are an absolute mess. This is day 3 of the snow and ice, and like Matt has been saying, we really haven't seen a chance to warm up over the last couple of days. Hopefully by late morning, early part of the afternoon, things will start to improve if you have to get out on the roads. But my photographer, Nick Bieber, shot this video on his way into work earlier this afternoon. This is from his GoPro camera. You can see how treacherous it is along 82nd and Holgate. Again, conditions aren't supposed to improve until at least late tomorrow morning. The good news is tomorrow is a holiday, President's Day, so that should keep traffic down. I spoke with Dylan Rivera with the Portland Bureau of Transportation, who said they have over 100-person crew working days and another 100+ crew working nights. Now, during the storm, they've had 57 plows on the road dropping sand and salt, and they've had de-icers out too. ODOT is responsible for clearing the major highways. PBOT is taking care of the major streets in Portland. So where are the priorities?
Those are the streets that everyone knows about in Portland. Those are, Burnside, Capitol Highway, Multnomah Boulevard, 122nd Avenue.
Now, here's a live look of 217. I know it might be kind of tough to see some of the actual road conditions, but I've been seeing drivers driving pretty smoothly over here the last hour with no issues. But again, the closer you get into downtown Portland, it's a completely different story. Now, if you want to see where the snow plows are, PBOT has a real-time link you can check out to track it. You can see what crews are doing on the major roads in Portland, including if they're laying down salt, de-icer, or plowing. You can just head to our website at kgw.com for more information. But I can tell you what, Brittany, by late tonight and into tomorrow, much of the metro area is going to be iced over once again. Back to you.
Yeah, I would not want to be out there. All right, thanks so much, Joe. And as roads and tracks clear, TriMet is restoring service. In a rare move yesterday, the agency shut down all mass transit. Right now, limited MAX and bus lines are running. TriMet says buses are chained and can't go faster than 25 miles per hour. Lyft paratransit service is also running at reduced levels. You can check for updates at trimet.org/alerts. With temperatures dipping below freezing the last several nights, volunteers are making sure vulnerable people have a warm place to stay. There was a big line outside the Blanchet House in Portland yesterday. Volunteers there braved the bone-chilling weather to serve hot meals and hand out clothing. John Siebert is the volunteer manager. He says there are so many people in need right now.
We're seeing a lot of guests that are coming for our meal services every day. 6 days a week, 3 meals a day, and there's not a day that goes by where we're not seeing a lot of new faces.
The need has grown so much during this pandemic. Multnomah County has had 3 severe weather shelters open. One is along North Lombard, as well as a parking garage near the Oregon Convention Center and an area inside the Convention Center. We will have much more snow coverage for you throughout our newscast, but you can always get updates on KGW.com, the KGW mobile app, and our social media channels. Coming up, what comes next after former President Trump is impeachment acquittal? The Biden administration aims to move on to a new chapter while the Republican Party finds itself at a crossroads. Plus, winter weather isn't just bearing down on us. Mother Nature is wreaking a bit of havoc across the country this Valentine's weekend. We'll show you some of the worst spots.
What's your heart's desire? How about winning a brand new Chevy Camaro, Chevy Silverado, or $50,000 in cash? Coyote Club members receive 1 free entry. Earn more playing your favorite games. Come in and win your heart's desire at Spirit Mountain Casino.
We pledge allegiance to the people of the Pacific Northwest of America and to the things in which they love, like hiking, biking, big hat liking. So ride down that mountain, rent that Rambler, wave to that log, use huge scissors, learn to park that giant new car, and let the good times roll, baby. This is our promise to you. Worry less, live more with Pemco Insurance, defender of your Northwest.
Introducing a revolution in the world of pain relief. New Advil Dual Action. Advil targets pain at the source. Acetaminophen blocks pain signals. New Advil Dual Action with acetaminophen.
To support a strong immune system, your body needs routine. Centrum helps your immune defenses every day with vitamin C, D, and zinc. Season after season. Ace your immune support with Centrum.
Last summer, this place we love was destroyed by wildfires. At IQ Credit Union, we believe in building a better Pacific Northwest. Join us and give trees. Donate at replantoregon.org. All this week, when you give, we will match it.
I was a healthcare CEO for over 20 years, and I've always admired the Kaiser Permanente coordinated care model. I got to see it firsthand when I had some chest pains checked out. Before I could do spring gardening with my wife, I needed to have heart surgery. The care and quality I received was better than anything I've seen. Thanks to Kaiser Permanente, I'm doing the things I love. I wouldn't trust my heart to anyone else.
It's the President's Day event at DeWitt, Portland's appliance experts.
If you are frustrated with the snow and ice, you're not alone. If it makes you feel any better, we aren't the only ones dealing with some harsh winter weather conditions. In Nashville, Tennessee, an icy interstate triggered this massive pileup. More than 20 cars were involved and several had to be towed. Traffic was shut down on I-24 in both directions for hours. According to the Nashville Fire Department, 12 people had to be taken to the hospital. What a mess. In Las Vegas, thunderstorms left thousands of people without power. A fast-moving storm on Saturday created wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. Yikes, just look at those trees blowing. How scary does this sound? A bouncy house with kids inside actually blew on top of a home, but rescue crews say luckily no one was hurt. A wind advisory still in effect there tonight. Frigid temperatures and gusty winds along the shore of Lake Erie have created a thick layer of ice on, well, pretty much everything. Railings, plants, and break walls have been transformed into ice sculptures. It's kind of a little eerie on Lake Erie with that, isn't it? The ice coverage grew by 50% in just the past few days. Forecasters say the Great Lake should be almost completely covered with ice for the rest of the month. For context here, Lake Erie covers nearly 10,000 square miles. I get cold just looking at it. And to the north of us, parts of western Washington are dealing with several inches of snow. King County is reporting around a foot. Snow-covered roads are leading to some slippery conditions for travelers. But look at this. In Tacoma, people turned out to a local park to just take advantage of the winter weather and have a little fun. We saw sledders, skiers, snowboarders, and even some people building a snowman. Oh, I didn't get to build a snowman today, Matt. I was just too busy. It was just a little too icy, too, for that sticking snow.
Yeah, right. I mean, the wet snow is great for building snowmen. Well, when you add the ice crust onto it, it just...
It gets a little crumbly out there.
Yeah, it's not the best.
No.
That Great Lakes thing is interesting, too. Lake Erie freezes more readily than the other lakes because it's the shallowest of the Great Lakes. And the benefit to the lake freezing, there's one, it shuts off lake effect snow. You need to have the open water for that. So a couple benefits there. All right, let's take you outside right now. We are frozen over in Portland. This is a look from our camera on top, the building here at KGW with the icicles hanging down. That's what happens when you get freezing rain. Freezing rain, by the way, is a liquid when it falls. When it falls into 29-degree air, it does that. It freezes and creates icicles, and that is freezing rain, and that's what we have here across the area. That's a little bit right now, but the bigger swath of rain is yet to come. It's from Newport up to Tillamook. It is advancing our way. It's hitting Eugene and south to Salem, but when that arrives, it's heavier, steadier precipitation. That's when we're going to see the significant icing overnight tonight, so that's what we're worried about there. A couple of, and then again, the details on this, up to a half to over an inch. East County there. It's east of I-205 that will get the worst icing because it's colder there. You get a lot of precip. But the West Hills may see as much as half an inch of ice, and the rest of Portland less as you head south and west, but still icing even into the northern valley. So we will have to be very careful overnight tonight. In the morning hours early, 6 a.m. or so. That's as long as the ice storm warning goes for it. Things should begin to warm up and will begin to melt out. So much of the day tomorrow, we will be above freezing as this weather system comes on in and pushes that cold air out and finally mixes it on out as westerly winds will be kicking in. But again, we've got some fairly decent precipitation rolling in tonight to give us that additional icing that we're talking about. Then as we go into the evening hours tomorrow, this rain's going to break up and we'll be in shower mode on Tuesday. Back to normal with valley rain and mountain snow, lots of mountain snow. The avalanche warning is really quite high right now because of all the heavy snow and because of the type of snow. We had that really fine powder on top of the old January ice crust. So the really light, fluffy snow is a weak layer. Now we're getting heavier snow on top of that. There was rain and freezing rain on the mountain today. So that can help to crush that weaker layer below and you can get avalanches. The avalanche control folks have been reporting avalanches down to fairly low elevations too. So keep that in mind if you think about heading out away from the developed ski areas. Much of the valley is already above freezing. The melting will overtake everybody on Monday, including Portland, even the gorge late Monday. The beaches, there's a high sneaker wave threat because the storm's coming in from the coast. So, I mean, there's just a lot going on right now. This is the snowfall forecast through Wednesday, okay? And that's 30 inches on Mount Hood, and that may be accomplished by Tuesday morning. 19 inches at Hoodoo, another 28 inches at Bachelor. Our snowpack is really getting some major gains, and 50 inches on Mount Hood by next weekend is not out of the question. That's how much more snow is on the way, even while the valleys go to rain. 31 right now in town, freezing level. Last report was about 4,200 feet. It's that warm layer that causes the problem. If that freezing level was low and it was cold throughout the column of the atmosphere, then we'd just be getting a bunch of snow. That's not the case. On the coast, highs and lows in the 40s. Again, that sneaker wave threat and some wind gusts out of the southwest up to about 35 miles an hour. For the valleys, we got highs and lows in the 30s in McMinnville, Salem, and Corvallis. Now, if you're closer to Portland and you're still below freezing, then you will get a little bit of freezing rain tonight, 1/10 of an inch maybe for the southern end of Portland, the northern valley, but otherwise rain and melting tomorrow and up to about 50 as you head to the south, but 40s everywhere else. Cascades, rain and heavy snow tonight. And yes, there is rain because that snow level 5,500 feet tonight, but then it falls back down to 3,500 feet tomorrow. And we showed you the ski area forecast. It's going to be a really productive week for the Oregon Cascades and all of Oregon's mountains. Central and eastern Oregon, you'll have a line from roughly Redmond over to John Day and then east. And north of that line, it's snow. South of that line, it's freezing rain and rain. So a bit messy over there. In the gorge, up to an inch, maybe a little more for the western gorge tonight. 4 to 8 inches of snow east of Multnomah Falls, and then it turns to freezing rain and rain in Hood River even tomorrow night. But you will warm up, and we'll be in the upper 30s to low 40s in the Portland area. The freezing rain tonight is significant, but then we go to all rain tomorrow as we climb to 39, then 48 on Tuesday, and then a nice rainy forecast. Brittany, I've never been so excited about a rainy forecast.
Me neither. I am pumped though for the rain and not ice.
Yeah, it's going to make a lot of people happy. And, you know, those of you who without power, well, you're probably not listening to us, but, you know, we're with you.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just feel for so many of those folks. All right. Thanks so much, Matt. And we want to share more of your photos. Samantha shared this one of an ice-covered bush in Tualatin. It just looks like art out there. And how about this frozen over fir tree in Vancouver, sent to us by Christy Carey Gregor. So pretty. And check out these deer paying a little visit to Jory's backyard in Kelso. Jory, there's about 9 inches of snow on the ground there. Holy cats. Holy deer. And how cute is this? A family in Hillsborough built an igloo in their backyard. I'm super jealous. They're calling it Fort Scholerman. That's Jackson, Maddox, and Mason Scholerman hanging out inside. The family even setting up a camping stove inside the igloo to roast some marshmallows. That is some snow day ingenuity. Keep on sharing your photos with us. Text them to that number right there on your screen. We'll be right back.
Limited time, get $1,500 off your LipoLift with payments as low as $102 a month.
Visit drdarm.com, then call for your free virtual consultation.
History in the making, the beginning of a new era in America. As Joe Biden takes office, the major changes and challenges ahead. The vaccine effort picks up.
Where are the majority of those doses?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Winning Motor Trend Truck of the Year 3 times in a row, that had never been done before. Then again, neither had a 12-inch touchscreen or 1,000 pound-feet of torque, or being the only pickup on Car and Driver's 10 best list. Never been done before. It's just kind of our thing.
During the Ram President's Day event, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $4,000 total bonus cash on the 2021 Ram 1500. Hurry in for this great offer.
The Warby Parker virtual try-on is perfect. Like, they look like they're on my face. Like, look at this.
I can actually virtually try it on, swipe, and switch.
That was so easy. They make it so fun and fabulous.
At American Family Insurance, we've always protected more than what you drive. We've protected and supported the dreams that drive you. Right now, that means extending our 10% savings on auto premium for all current and new auto customers through March, so you can get a little closer to your dream. Whether your dream is discovering new roads and new limits, or supporting that dream. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
This President's Day, get a free head and foot-up adjustable base with the purchase of select mattresses starting at just $6.99. It's not too late to sleep like a baby at Mattress World Northwest.
Fallout for both parties tonight after President Trump was acquitted of inciting an insurrection in his second impeachment trial. Both sides are claiming victory, while some say the Republican Party is at a crossroads on who should lead them. Meanwhile, Democrats say it's time to move on to passing President Biden's COVID-19 relief package. Jennifer Johnson reports.
One day after the Senate voted to acquit former President Trump of inciting an insurrection, both parties are still at odds. Democrats say despite the outcome, it was the most bipartisan impeachment vote in history and claim Trump's reign is over.
Those memories and those police officers' screams will be forever etched in the memories of Americans. He is done.
One of the 7 Republicans who voted to convict the former president says the party needs a new direction.
I think as force wanes, the Republican Party is more than just one person.
But other Republicans, including one who spoke with Trump after the verdict, disagree.
I said, Mr. President, this MAGA movement needs to continue. We need to unite the party. Trump plus is the way back in 2022.
43 Republicans stood by the former president, including the Senate Minority Leader. But Senator Mitch McConnell later suggested Trump may face criminal charges.
President Trump is still liable for everything he did while he was in office. Didn't get away with anything yet.
With the trial over, both sides will now zone in on passing President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 rescue package.
If a month from now, as unemployment checks are at the verge of stopping for 10 million Americans, we can proceed with a Democrat-only bill.
Democrats say while they are open to a bipartisan bill, they will pass the package soon, with or without Republican support. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
Former President Trump's second impeachment trial made news around the world, but many foreign leaders have not commented on his acquittal. America's reputation on the world stage was one of the arguments that was put forward by the prosecution in favor of impeachment.
The world is watching and wondering whether we are who we say we are.
Some say the lack of international reaction is a sign that global leaders are focused on the new administration and building ties with President Biden. On Friday, President Biden will take part in a virtual meeting for G7 leaders. It's going to be the first major opportunity to forge new relationships and partnerships with old American allies. We'll be right back.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm Zach.
I'm definitely a researcher. I just like to be informed.
And a little bit more of the carefree spirit.
One of the reasons that we love the story so much is that personal feel.
You're able to send in a tweet, send in an email. You get to feel like you're more of a participant.
I think our favorite part is just how honest the show is.
When you can tell that the people who are doing a job actually love what they're doing, it just makes it all better.
A ballet dancer's body goes through so much pain, and the pain was really bad in my knees, my ankles, even in my hips sometimes. When you're a dancer, that's just the last thing that you want. And so my mom took me into Good Feet, and then that's when we got my arch supports. A week after I got them, I was like, holy cow, all of a sudden the pain just went away. I didn't even know the arch supports existed until I got them, and I was like, where were these all my life?
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
This Valentine's Day at Papa Murphy's, heat things up to 425 degrees. Right now, get the Heart Baker Pizza, our signature pepperoni pizza in the shape of a heart for just $10. Fall in love with one today for just $10. We make it, you bake it, Papa Murphy's.
0% on this HRV. And this one. 0% on this Pilot. And that Pilot. 0% on this CRV. That one too. 0% on the Passport. 0% on the Ridgeline. Act fast to take home a versatile and rugged Honda during the final days of the Honda 0% event. Well-qualified buyers can get a great deal, like 0% APR financing on the purchase of select Honda models.
Looking for dinner made easy? See you later, same old, same old. Take a hike too hard to follow? And bye, bye, blah. Right this way, rotating weekly menu. Simply delighted, simple instructions. Very nice to meet you, variety of meal kits. Well, hello there, Home Chef. Pre-portioned ingredients and simple-to-follow recipes delivered straight to your door. Get $90 off your first month at homechef.com. Home Chef. Delicious meat simple.
Get monumental savings during our President's Day sale, only at Mattress World Northwest.
Like so many places, the Oregon Zoo had to close for the weekend. It was supposed to be a time for visitors to get a first look at the new polar bear exhibit before Nora arrives in the spring. No worries, though. We've got you covered. John Goodwin went behind the scenes before the freeze set in.
Barely behind the gates of the Oregon Zoo, anticipation builds for a long-awaited project.
We have really missed having polar bears here at the zoo, and of course this exhibit was designed with the polar bears we've had in the past in mind, and we just can't wait to see if they do with it what we are hoping they will.
Amy Cutting is a curator at the zoo. She's talking about and standing in one of the new habitats of the Polar Passage exhibit.
But there's actually two, and they're interconnected, so most of the time the bears will be able to travel back and forth between the two exhibits, but we will have the flexibility of being able to separate them if we need to.
The funds for the exhibit came from a voter-approved bond measure, along with money from these donors and supporters who got an up-close look at the exhibit last week. This weekend's public walkthroughs were canceled because of the weather.
Hi, folks. Hi. Welcome. There's elevated areas in both exhibits. So in the old days, we used to make these bear pits and we'd all be looking down at them. Now we want them to be king of the world, right? Those bears are going to be able to be up high. They're going to see other animals around the zoo.
Saltwater pools, shelters, ice machines are all taking shape. With completion coming later this spring, a familiar face is moving back in.
When Nora left here, we did not know if she would be coming back or if it would be a different bear. So we feel really privileged that she is coming back. She's a great animal, of course, and people have a real connection with her. And, of course, we designed this exhibit partly with her in mind.
Nora will have time to get settled before another female arrives this fall. The habitat can house up to 5 bears, and Amy can't wait to see Nora and other future bears, even guests, enjoy this new space.
It's one thing to sit down and spend $19 million on an exhibit and a year and a half in the planning and a year in the construction, crossing your fingers that you got it right, to really watch her play in the ice pool, to really watch her sprawl on top of the climbing structure. It's going to be pretty epic, honestly. It's exciting.
At the Oregon Zoo, John Goodwin, KGW News.
Well, let's check back in with Matt for one last look at your forecast, because Matt, this is the big story tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It has been for the last couple of days. It is going to become not the big story, I think, as we go into Tuesday. Tomorrow morning, we're still going to have some issues. Hey, I'm showing you Newport for a reason here, because it's really foggy and it's really rainy, and it's 48 degrees and south-southwest winds. That's where our relief is coming from the south and west. It's already overtaken parts of the Willamette Valley, but not the Portland area, not yet. The cold air is stubborn. It's hanging on, and that's why we're worried about freezing rain overnight tonight, with that rain from the coast rolling in over the top of this air that is still at and below freezing. So we're looking at east of I-205 out to Multnomah Falls, a half an inch to over an inch of ice there. For most of Portland west of I-205, a tenth to a half an inch of ice. The West Hills will also see higher amounts, quarter to a half an inch of ice up that way as well. And as I said, the rest of Portland, a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice. The melting from the south to north will commence tomorrow morning in the Portland area. It will be gradual enough that I'm not worried about big-time flooding issues, but some of the storm drains that get clogged with snow and ice may lead to some flooding in the morning. Brittany?
So much to deal with. Well, that does it for us at 5. NBC Nightly News is coming up next. Matt and I will see you back here for KGW News at 11.